Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. You are tuned in to Mic Drop. I'm your humble host, Big Mike, coming to you from my home. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. I am wearing, if those of you are just wondering what jersey I'm wearing today, I am wearing the greatest defensive player of all time, Lawrence Taylor's jersey. Played for the New York Giants in his 1986 MVP season. Obviously, I'm wearing the Giants hat to match. Hope everyone's doing well, like I said. All things considered, like I said, COVID's been a little bit of a mess here. Basically, in Toronto, we're just in a. I don't even call this year 2021. I call it 2020 remix, basically, because basically the same shit as last year. But I believe again, eventually we will persevere and get through this. It'll just be a matter of when, not if. But in the meantime, while I do have some positive news and stuff like that I'm going to share in my other vlog, my Feel Good Friday vlog that's going to come up a little bit later. Right now, I need to vent. Okay, so if you guys will allow me, I need to get some stuff off my chest because I would say over the past 3 weeks, I've been mulling over this. And actually, I did try to do this vlog 3 weeks ago when I did my Me Too movement vlog. If you haven't watched that one, check it out, and like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. But unfortunately, for some weird reason, my technology failed me that day and it didn't upload. So I'm redoing this vlog, and I am titling this vlog Cancel Culture. Or not Cancel Culture, sorry, Accountability Culture. Here's the reason why I'm titling it Accountability Culture. Simply put, I have gotten to a point where I am honestly, legitly, unequivocally sick and tired of hearing the term cancel culture. But I'm probably, the reason why I'm more sick of it is I'm sick of people using that as an excuse and a license to utter bullshit out of their mouth, or to feel justified in saying bullshit or doing bullshit and not being held accountable for it. So initially, I was going to do like a long list, maybe of 8 things that I was going to talk about and as examples and things of that nature. Not going to really do all that because I don't really have that kind of time. And if I was to do a long list, this vlog would be a lot longer than I plan on it being. I don't really want to do this vlog for very long because I'm in a good mood. But I need to get this off my chest before I then venture into my other vlog. But, so before I do that, let me just get into the nitty gritty, basically. So, the first example of cancel culture that I've heard is from, the first time I heard it really, I mean, I've heard it for a long time. This is a term that's gone on for many years. I'm really just focusing mostly on this year so far. Even though we're not even done this year, it feels like this year's been like 10 years long, but whatever. So earlier in the year, for example, Josh Hawley, this American politician, for those you don't know, I think he's a senator, Republican senator. I believe he's the senator of Missouri. Basically, if you don't know who he is, he was part of the, I guess, there's a picture of him when the insurrection happened on January 6th. He was actually had his fist up pointing towards the protesters and all that shit. Saluting them, I guess. So at the time of the insurrection that happened on January 6th, Mr. Hawley had a book deal that he was peddling, that he was about to publish. Now, when the insurrection happened, the publisher rescinded the book deal. Basically, they rescinded it. And Josh Hawley decided to go on Fox News and cry cancel culture. They're trying to silence me. Even though he had went on Fox News after that about 4 more fucking times, crying cancel culture, because they didn't want to publish his stupid ass book of him talking nonsense. Whereas I think the publishers were probably just looking at it from a standpoint of, you know what, the PR on this is not looking good. What's the likelihood of this book even making bank? The amount of money that we're going to have to push, the amount of money that we're going to have to probably spend to promote the book, put it in bookshelves. If no one is going to buy it because this asshole is toxic, it's probably not in our best interest to have this dude to publish his book. That's my guess. But no, obviously it's cancel culture. They're trying to silence me. They're trying to silence this Republican movement, the Trumpism, and all this other stupid shit I was hearing. So now fast forward really even as recent as a few weeks ago, and this is kind of really what prompted me to do this fucking vlog, while the coronavirus was raging on, there's high rates of poverty, child hunger, people losing jobs, all this crazy shit that's going on. What does Fox News think that is so important that they need to discuss? The fact that fucking Dr. Seuss got canceled because of some racist books that he used to have, which were racist. Mr. Potato Head is now Potato Head and it's gender neutral. And Pepe Le Pew got silenced. Oh my God. The leftist liberals are out there just trying to silence and cancel everything. Okay. So I'm going to unpack those 3 points. Now, the main reason why, and I'm going to say this bluntly, and I don't care if anyone feels any way. If you as an adult person have a problem with Potato Head now being, instead of it being called Mr. Potato, you all of a sudden are so offended and bothered about that, you're a fucking idiot. If you have a problem with Dr. Seuss's books being canceled and silenced because of their racist overtones, you're a fucking idiot. And then more importantly, if you have a problem with Pepe Le Pew being canceled and you're just so bothered about that, guess the fuck what? You, my friends, are a fucking idiot. If you are my age, if you are 37 or in your 30s, or even in your late fucking 20s, how in the fuck are you going to sit there and take any issue with these things being canceled? Do you play with the fucking Potato Head? I have not played with the Potato Head doll since I was 6 years old. I have not read a Dr. Seuss book since around that same time. And I have not watched a Looney Tunes cartoon probably since I was 13 years old. And Pepe Le Pew, in all honesty, deserved to be fucking canceled, because if you watch the fucking cartoons, he is literally trying to forcibly have sex or kiss and make out with this fucking cat who does not want him. How in the fuck would you say, oh, what's the big deal? Given all the undertones and the bullshit that's going on with sexual assault in the Me Too movement. You're going to watch a cartoon of Pepe Le Pew and not realize the correlation between that? Are you that fucking dense? So that just boggled my mind. Because out of all the things you could have talked about, that's something that you felt was so important, but whatever. And lastly, I'm going to get to another point, not even just cancel culture, but accountability culture. From the aspect of, social media and people saying stuff and commenting and making comments and stuff. Now, I'm not on Facebook and Instagram. Thank God. Because if I was on Instagram and Facebook during these times, I don't know what the fuck. I probably would have straight up lost my fucking mind at this point. But I think the reason why I want to touch on these 2 points is because these 2 points really sicken me. And I feel like these 2 situations called for people to be held accountable for what they said. So, for example, I was watching a documentary, the American Murder Family Next Door documentary on Netflix. It's a very, very sad documentary, but it is a good one. So if you're into murder mysteries, you can watch it. If you're someone who's very sensitive, I would probably honestly avoid watching it. To give a Cliff Notes description of the documentary, it's basically detailing the murder of a woman, her unborn baby, and her 2 young daughters in Colorado by her husband, basically. It made the news. It happened in 2018, like August 2018. So I was familiar with the case because I had heard about it around that time when it happened. But then watching the documentary, getting the full scope of everything, it was just sad. Like, it was just a very sad documentary, especially to see the young children and how happy and vibrant they were. And to see that knowing that they were killed, that this husband, the father murdered them. I mean, it was bad enough that he killed the wife, and the reasoning didn't even make any sense. And he changed his rationale for killing her and all this shit. And he lied multiple times. He was just, the husband is a piece of shit human being. Period. But what really bothered me, like, in a way that I honestly did not think it would, was the fact that there's a part in the documentary where they were around the time, I believe, where the trial was going on. And you had women actually sitting there saying on social media platforms and on radio, whatever, saying that the wife deserved to die, essentially, because she was a bitch. Now, to put in context, was the wife, would you define her or say that she was a quote unquote bitch or she was a difficult person? Sure. Now, the reason why I don't have a problem with that is because the wife actually admitted in the documentary that she was very difficult at times. She could have a very strong personality, and she loved the fact that her husband still put up with her despite all that. So my whole thing is, husband, if you had such a problem with her being such a difficult personality, leave her ass. Why would you then put two babies in her then if you had such a fucking problem with her being difficult? But what troubled me more than anything, and it honestly irritated my soul, is that women were literally saying that she deserved to die because she was a bitch. And I just thought to myself, even though I should know better that people are stupid, but I just thought, a woman seeing that story, seeing a woman lose her life that way, her children getting killed, and your way of thinking is, oh, she was a bitch, she deserved to die. She drove her husband to it, she pushed her husband to do it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? As a person, as a human being, like, that just troubled me to hear those comments. This absolutely infuriated me. Now, I don't know whether she was held accountable or not, but I feel in that circumstance, if you're going to make a stupid, ignorant fucking statement like that, you deserve to be held accountable and cussed the fuck out for that. Now, the last point I'll talk about is a person that I straight up, and I've said this on many vlogs, I'm not a fan of. I don't even like bringing up her name, but I have to for the purposes of this topic, which is Candace Owens. So, Candace Owens, as most of you know, first and foremost, George Floyd's trial ended last a few days ago, and I will touch on that in my later vlog after, my feelings on that. But that Derek Chauvin, the man who killed George Floyd, was found guilty on all three charges, which is good. So Candace Owens was interviewed, and she had the unmitigated gall and nerve to say that the jury got it wrong. And she said that it's mob rule. Even the dumbass pile of shit, dumb motherfucker Tucker Carlson, who's another motherfucker I really don't like, had the audacity and nerve to say that the jury only found him guilty because they were intimidated by the protests. But this is the same dipshit person who went on his show and said that he doesn't know. He asked the question, what is white supremacy? What does that mean? Now listen, I'm gonna just say this. Tucker Carlson is a piece of shit. But the problem is he has a following of 3 million people that watch his show every night. Or actually, let me rephrase that. 3 million stupid motherfuckers who watch his show every night. And I say this with a caveat. Now, unless some people that are watching Tucker Carlson are watching his show because they have like a paper to do involving some political science or talking about like, let's say, news media and stuff like that, unless you're doing research and you're watching Tucker Carlson, if you're watching Tucker Carlson because he's entertaining, or you're watching Tucker Carlson because you think he's right about everything, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm going to give you a history lesson as to why you're a fucking idiot. Tucker Carlson was actually sued many years ago for some shit that he said. And the judge in that case found that Tucker Carlson said it in basically in a nutshell that things that Tucker Carlson says on his show should not be taken seriously because Tucker Carlson is on that show for entertainment purposes. That is the same shit they say before a WWE wrestling match or show. So if you as a person are watching Tucker Carlson thinking that he's so woke and he's so goddamn smart and we're all just dum-dums, you're a fucking dum-dum. Because any person, any white person that would sit there and go on their fucking show and say that they don't know what white supremacy is someone that's ever been punched in their fucking face. Because Tucker Carlson had ever been either threatened to be punched in his face or punched in his fucking face, he would never utter that bullshit out of his fucking mouth. And as for that stupid bitch, Candace Owens, who I really don't like, I'm going to say this. And this is why I feel like he need to be held accountable for what he said, but Candace Owens especially. And I'm going to hold her feet to the fire especially. The reason why she definitely needs to be held accountable is because it's her as a black woman should fucking know better. And I said this in my vlog last year, and I really did not want to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up again. And she's a pile of shit for literally saying that Derek Chauvin, who literally kneeled on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, did not deserve to go to prison. She actually said on her fucking show. And now you people that were going to sit there and cry cancel culture and, oh my God, everyone's trying to silence me and, oh, it's just my opinion and all this other shit. Shut the fuck up. Because for me, in my opinion, there needs to be checks and balances. There is no way any person could hear her say that stupid shit and would give her a pass. And if I was ever to have a conversation with that bitch, or she would be an earshot of me, I'd call her a fucking asshole for that shit. And bottom line, and this is the reason why, above everything else. Yeah, she's a black woman. But you know what? I'm going to humor people, because there's people out there that talk about how, oh, everyone's just race baiting, and there's no racism, and it's not about race, and I don't see color, and colors doesn't matter, we're all human, it's the human race, and all this other fucking stupid shit I hear. Okay, cool. I'm gonna humor you people. I'm gonna humor y'all now. And I said this last year, and I'm gonna repeat this again because it still sticks the same way. And this is the reason why I was angry with Candace Owens for saying what she said. And this goes for any motherfucking person out there that has a problem with Derek Chauvin going to prison, or any problem with George Floyd being labeled as a martyr or hero. If you could watch that video, I don't give a fuck how long you watch that video for. If you even watch that video. If you can honestly tell me with a straight fucking face that watching George Floyd die didn't bother you in any way, didn't anger you in any way, didn't sadden you in any way, you didn't care, it was just like you watched it and you went back to eating your fucking Chef Boyardee or the fuck you do, whatever the fuck you eat or whatever the fuck you do, if you could just watch that and not have any issue with it, you're a piece of shit human being. I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Democrat, I don't care if you're conservative, I don't care if you're a logical person or whatever the fuck you are. You are a piece of shit of a human being. For anyone to watch that video as a human being and not have any feeling of that, I'm not sorry about this. You're a pile of shit. And you have to own that and let that wash over you and let that shower over you. Now, I'm sorry for the people that might be watching this vlog and feel like, oh my God, Mike, you're so intense and you're so angry. But you know what? The reason why I had to come at it in this way is because people don't listen. Most people, the masses, don't care about logical, sound conversations. They only react to anger. My most watched vlogs are the ones where I'm screaming and yelling like a fucking lunatic anyway. Because when I talk logically, people don't give a shit. People don't want to hear that. So I figured, you know what? I'll give the people what they fucking want. So here's a thing I'm going to sign off on today in terms of accountability culture. And I've said this in probably previous vlogs, but I feel again, I probably got to say it again. I do vlogs, and I've been doing vlogs for the better part of 6 years. I've been doing podcasts with my lovely friend Sana for over a year. I have done and said many different topics and said many different things that people have taken issue with, and that's fine. Reason why I say it's fine is because I don't mind being held accountable for what I say, even if it's stuff that people don't agree with, because I understand that me saying something on a public forum will cause me to be held accountable. And even times when I was wrong, people held me accountable. A perfect example of this was a few years ago. I posted on my Instagram maybe in 2017 or 16, that I thought protests were bullshit because they don't really solve any problems. And you know what? Shout out to my friend Amarjeet. She checked my ass. She actually sent me a link of 10 examples where protests actually led to change. And you know what I did? I sent Amarjeet a text saying, thank you so much for sending me that. I, like, unlike most of society, who everyone thinks they're so goddamn smart and are above reproach, don't mind being humbled or being taught something if I don't know. And I appreciated that. So I hope that the people out there that want to sit there and spew their opinions and just say stupid shit, if you can't handle criticism of that, then my advice is sit your ass down somewhere. And that, my friends, is a mic drop.